BMW is literally trying to screw its own customers. What if I told you that buying a car in 2026 is no longer a purchase, but it's actually a surrender, a financial surrender? Believe it or not, BMW, the ultimate driving machine is what they used to call it, they just filed a patent for a proprietary Roundel-shaped screw and a corresponding exclusive tool. Now, on the surface, some people say this is innovation. Some people say it looks cool. In reality, what it amounts to is a financial kill switch. Because if you can't turn a screw on your own vehicle, you simply do not own that vehicle. You possess a $70,000 rental car that's masquerading as a piece of fine German engineering.
I can't believe that BMW is at it again, egregiously cash grabbing by purposely sabotaging people who want to work on their cars by making their own specialized screw heads that you need a special key to loosen. Seriously, I'm hoping this patent doesn't become real. And you know what?
This screw and the tool to loosen it is probably going to be prohibitively expensive for many do-it-yourself guys that want to repair their own cars, and it's probably going to be so expensive that in order to take your car to an independent shop, they're going to have to add on a premium in order to make it worth their while after purchasing or renting the tool.
I won't even lie here. The idea of making a screw cap with your logo, is it cool? Absolutely. This is so...
Is it cool? Who the hell is going to see a screw head when you're driving down the road? This is an example of unbridled materialism.
So cool, which makes me even more mad about it. But BMW is not doing this because it's cool. I feel like the underlying reason is because manufacturers just hate when people work on cars themselves, probably because that means that their dealers aren't able to work on them. Now, is this special screw head going to stop everybody from working on their BMW? Probably not, but will it make it one step closer to F it, I'll just take it to the dealer? Absolutely. Also creates an opportunity, obviously, for this specialized tool that you have to go to the dealer to buy. That's probably going to cost like a couple $100 because that's
probably going to cost a lot more than that.
What they do just for the sake of it. I would give them a little plausible deniability here and say, hey, maybe they're just trying to do something cool. But after that whole heated seat subscription debacle that I know I've brought up 1,000 times, BMW is on thin ice, and with a move like this, they're just choosing to dance on it right in front of us all.
Yeah, he mentions the heated seats debacle, and we'll get into that in a minute because it proves the intent of a company like BMW. And they're not the only ones, but they seem to be the most strident and bold in terms of telling you you don't own something after you've paid for it. So this whole thing, everything that we're seeing along these lines, is a part of the "you will own nothing and be happy" agenda from the World Economic Forum. Remember, they put that out there a few years ago. Now it's manifesting inside your garage. And essentially what this is, it goes a little further into what's called a right to repair debate. You see this in certain pieces of electronics equipment like phones, laptop computers, tablets, right? Apple instituting a lot of roadblocks basically to get people to have to go through them to repair a device. It's not enough that you already spent the money to buy it and that you own it, but you've got to also abide by a whole bunch of legalese in order to maintain the product, right? This is basically predatory extraction of money from your wallet, money that could be going into your 401k or into your child's college fund or into you buying a rental property. So what we're going to do is take a look at this maneuver in a little bit more detail. Look at BMW's actual intent with this because they displayed it before with heated seats, as the gentleman alluded to. Well, basically, we're talking about the death of ownership, which is a war on your pocketbook. As I said, a war on your 401k, because if you've got to keep spending money to heat your seats or to go in for repairs, then that's money out of your pocket. Whatever happened to the reliable vehicle? I think BMW especially has become a devotee of the whole built-in obsolescence kind of credo. that says this is only going to work for a certain amount of time and then it's going to start breaking down and they're going to have to bring it to us. BMW uses plastic engine parts, and after heating and cooling multiple times, they become very brittle. Remember, this is a German company that is supposed to be world renowned for its engineering. They have fallen far from that legacy. So, for all of those reasons, I, here in Tyronistan, as the leader of Tyronistan, I'm officially blacklisting BMW. I don't want to invest in them when they treat their clients like this. I don't want to patronize them in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to own one of these cars ever again. All right. It's because they are straight up disrespecting we, the people. All right, BMW, they're looking at clients not as assets, but as liabilities. We're a liability. Why? Because once we purchase that car, we can do with it what we want, right? Under the old rubric. And BMW just doesn't like that. So by patenting rather, a screwhead, patenting a screwhead and the tool to take the screw out, making it look like their logo, they're pretty much locking the hood. Okay. Now, in some new cars, have you noticed that you can't check the oil? It's got no dipstick. You got to check it from the computer. I like being able to put my eyes on, the actual situation, but they're changing more and more with these cars and making them very inaccessible to the owners in terms of maintaining those vehicles. I have changed out a radiator, an older Acura Integra, back when I used to own one. I went to the AutoZone. My brother and I bought a Chilton's manual about the Acura Integra. We've got some beers and some snacks. Took an afternoon, followed directions, and changed out a radiator in their car. I used to do my own oil changes. Companies have engineered these vehicles since then, such that that's a real challenge. It's much more than an afternoon's worth of work. So the other thing that they're trying to do is stymie local mechanics. Why? Because you can get a better deal from a local mechanic. You find some guy or girl out there that's running a shop and they're honest and they're doing good work and most likely have been trained by Mercedes or BMW. These companies don't want that. So they want to end the weekend oil change, want to end your autonomy, in every minor turn of a bolt, it becomes an issue such that you have to go to the dealership and check out the labor rates at the dealership. They're designed to bleed you dry, and everybody knows it. They always have been. I have nothing against maintaining your car at the dealership if you can afford it, but that should be a choice you should be allowed to make. So, BMW, they've tried this before. The subscription model. They want to be like Netflix and have to, you have to come back to them again and again and again in order to keep paying them money. Do you remember the $18 a month heated seats issue? Yeah, they were going to charge you to hit a button and get heat from your heated seats that were already in the car, right? They were going to charge you to do that. They backed away from it, but not before instituting it. Why? Because it was a scout mission. They wanted to test the waters, test your defenses, see how amenable people would be, knowing that they'd grouse about it in the short term, but seeing if they could get away with it. Now, with this screw issue, they're moving in the direction of fully occupying your wallet, having a permanent place in your wallet.
If you buy a car that has heated seats, you'd expect to be able to use them on a cold morning, right? Well, some BMW owners now have to pay more for that option. BMW recently rolled out subscription plans to overseas that require owners to pay a monthly fee for heated front seats. The seats are already installed in the cars, yet owners still have to pay $18 a month to use them. Or they can shell out $450 for a lifetime subscription.
Can you believe that? Absolutely incredible. Now, all of that aligns perfectly with the World Economic Forum ethos of basically phasing out ownership, the concept of ownership, right? Because the other thing is, if they're programming in the software that the heated seats can only be activated if paid for, do you really trust them not to program in obsolescence at some point? Well, maybe they need more cars sold. So you keeping yours for 250,000 miles, maybe that's just not going to work for them. So what's to say they're not programming in something that makes that car really start racking up maintenance fees at 150,000 miles per hour? I don't trust them at all. So when a corporation controls the actual tools, the software, the hardware, you're no longer a customer at that point. You're simply a data point, you're a piggy bank, you're a source of recurring revenue. Every dollar you spend at a high price dealership for repair that should have cost you $20 in an hour of your time, that's a dollar stolen from your financial legacy. All right? I like to keep cars forever. Car manufacturers don't like that. I like to keep cell phones, computers, shoes forever. Buy once, buy quality, buy once, right? These manufacturers don't like that at all. So when you're forking over money to them in that way regularly, they wanted $18 a month for the heated seats, for the privilege of using a piece of equipment that was already in your car. They wanted, and they want at this point, you'd have to come to them so that they can unscrew a special screw. That's money that's not going into your real estate investments. It's not, compounding in your 401k. It's going to BMW. So they're not just selling cars, they're actively chipping away at your financial future. Look, even if this patent is ultimately rejected, I will never patronize this company ever, because they have broadcasted their intent. All right. They're telling you how they feel about you. Shown the hand, basically. They don't view you as a client. They view you as a recurring harvest, basically, for their profits. Look, as a soldier of finance, what you got to do is you got to protect your capital. You got to protect your economic position. There are a whole lot of enemies out there. BMW's one, and they want to take as much money out of your pocket as they can possibly get. And it's just not worth the perceived prestige to ride around in one of these vehicles and then do so as basically a serf of the Bavarian Motor Works, right? So when a company reveals that they want to trap you in its closed ecosystem. This is why I don't do Apple. You got to execute what's called a strategic disengagement. Okay. So let's patronize companies that respect the right to repair, respect us as clients, understand that, yeah, we bought it, we own it, and we can make decisions about it based on what is in our best interest. And furthermore, only investing in companies that empower consumers, not companies that attempt to turn a screw, use that screw as a tool to make you a serf. Sorry, BMW, you are blacklisted.